Hello, I'm Brian Manley, Assistant Chief of Police for the Austin Police Department, and I'm here today to present our proposed FY14 budget. Our department is very proud of our accomplishments related to our mission to keep you, your family, and our community safe. For FY12, Austin was ranked as the third safest large city for violent crime. We also saw a drop in the DWI-related fatality rate. Our current year estimates are that rates for violent crimes and property crimes are decreasing, but our rates for traffic fatalities have increased, along with our police response times. As the chart reflects, our violent crimes were at 4.27 per thousand in FY12 and have dropped to a proposed 3.83 for FY13. Our 5-year average is 4.71 per thousand population, so this is a significant accomplishment. Additionally, our property crime rate was 53.55 per thousand population in FY12, and we estimate it will come in FY13 at 50.44, well below the 5-year average of 56.5. Our DWI fatality rate last year was 1.48 per 100,000 population. Our FY13 estimate is that it will rise to 1.92 per 100,000, lower than our 5-year average of 2.46 per 100,000, but well above last year's mark. To challenge this, we have launched a collaboration with the Austin Transportation and Public Works to address the rise in these traffic fatalities. Additionally, our rate of citizen complaints per 100,000 population in FY12 was 8. We estimate in FY13 that will drop to 4.9. Our 5-year average for citizen complaints is 15, so this is a significant drop in complaints in the department. As we look at the department's sources and uses of funds, our departmental revenues in FY13 were $16.6 million, and we expect a slight decrease in FY14 to $16 million. I'll discuss that on the next slide. As far as our uses of funds, FY13 was $301.6 million. We expect that to increase in FY14 to $309.8 million. The department has 58% of our budget allocated to community-based policing, while approximately 30% goes to investigations and operations support. The remaining 12% is used for professional standards and administrative support units. When we look at our revenues and fees, you'll see a decrease in our program fees of approximately $300,000, mainly in the area of alarm permits and false alarm fees, wrecker fees, and police report fees. As Chief Acevedo discussed during the FY14 forecast, decreasing program fees are not always a negative in relation to our services. Fewer false alarm fines are really a goal for the department because this means that officers are not being pulled from other calls to respond to false alarms. This will improve our response times and also provide additional uncommitted time for our officers. This is the same for wrecker fees, as this means more time for proactively policing rather than having to work traffic accidents, have illegally parked vehicles towed, or impounds performed. Technology improvements have resulted in fewer sales of police reports, since citizens now have the ability to pull report information from our website and print it themselves. This saves time for civilian staff, which enables them to perform other functions, while also providing a great service to our citizens. In the area of grants, grant budgeting is often difficult due to the time lapse between application submission and awards being made. The department applied for several competitive grants for FY13 that were included in the budget but subsequently not awarded. We also received some one-time grants in FY13 that will not get renewed in FY14. And finally, the decrease in expense refunds is due to an internal change in budgeting process and does not impact the overall city budget. In looking at our budget highlights, we are receiving 47 officers to maintain our 2.0 officer per thousand staffing model, and I will discuss that additionally in the presentation. We're also annualizing the cost of 22 officers that were added mid-year in FY13. We're budgeting for an increase in the cost for the Travis County booking services, as well as an increase in overtime due to the 24-hour hike and bike trail initiative, along with several non-reimbursed special events. We also have step and longevity pay increases for our sworn personnel, and we have increased our cadet pay based on a market study that showed we were well under the market in the salaries for our cadets. We have a dedicated budget for replacing tasers and body armor. Instead of submitting these items as unmet needs as we have in years past, we now have money in our budget to purchase these items as needed. And finally, we've annualized the cost for 3 forensic chemists that were added during the mid-year budget and will carry on into the coming years. In addition, we have 3 areas where we purchased additional equipment. We purchased 2 new fire panels for the patrol building and the north substation. We are getting a new inventory control system that was recommended during a MGT audit of our department a few years back. And we're replacing forensics equipment that has come to the end of its useful life. In the area of major accomplishments, this year we completed our digital vehicular video system project, and this project put digital in-car video cameras in 100% of our patrol cars and our motorcycle fleet. Additionally, we expect to take delivery of the department's new helicopter this month, and this will provide an improved law enforcement response along with the ability to assist the Austin Fire Department with water drops. Looking at our spending plan for CIP projects in FY14, we are looking to work on the Mounted Patrol facility. We already own the land and have constructed the fence, and we are now working on construction of the stables. We have land and design for a facility for the APD Park Patrol and the Park Rangers. We have funding for land and design for a new Northwest Police substation. And we have money put aside for the digital video storage expansion, given that we need more storage space for all the video that we are collecting and storing. When we look at our performance initiatives, we noted earlier that we are going to receive 47 officer positions in the FY14 budget. These positions are based on the city's long-standing use of the 2.0 per thousand staffing model. While the officer per thousand ratio provides consistency and convenience, it is not an absolutely reliable metric to ensure adequate staffing and does not address the needs for civilian staffing. Variables that impact the effectiveness of an officer per thousand approach include the manner in which a department assigns their staff, the use of specialized resources that draw staff from patrol, crime patterns within the community, adequate staffing for civilian functions within the department, and the geography of the community, rural versus suburban. Other metrics that can be used to determine staffing needs include crime rates, uncommitted time, response time, resident satisfaction surveys, case clearance rates, calls for service, and the unique needs of a specific community, such as special events. In the area of crime rates, we have done well with violent crime, as evidenced in our recent ranking as the 3rd safest city in America in regards to violent crime for large cities, and our projection that our 2013 violent crime rate will come in even lower. While our property crime rate does not reflect the same level of success, we continue to work to reduce the level of property crime in Austin. The average property crime rate for major U.S. cities is 46.48 per thousand residents. Our rate in FY12 was 53.55, well above the national average, but 8% below the 4-year running average for Austin. Our projected rate for FY13 is 50.44, a reduction from our FY12 rate. Our efforts in this area include proactive investigations by our centralized burglary investigations unit, focused operations by patrol officers, auto theft interdiction team initiatives, and the use of intelligence-led policing to ensure we are deploying our resources in the most effective and efficient manner. In the area of uncommitted time, this is a time an officer has where he or she is not tied up handling 911 emergency calls for service, traffic enforcement, or other incidents. This is the time the officer can engage with the community and continue to build relationships with our residents. Uncommitted time is essential for a positive police-community relationship, building trust, and enlisting our community in a partnership to keep our neighborhoods safe. An internal analysis of our uncommitted time in 2011 showed we were at 31.4% uncommitted time. A similar analysis was conducted again in 2013, and our uncommitted time had fallen to 15%. While the additional staffing will help in this area, our increased use of intelligence-led policing strategies will also work to increase our officers' uncommitted time by better targeting problem locations and identifying related crime incidents. In the area of response times, as mentioned earlier, our response time for emergency and urgent calls for FY12 was 7.29. Our projected rate for FY13 is 8 minutes and 25 seconds. We are working to improve our response time through technology and the Real-Time Crime Center. The Real-Time Crime Center monitors all calls citywide and has the authority to reallocate resources around the city as call load demand fluctuates. Additionally, we have a FY14 project to enable GPS location on all officers' radios that are not in patrol cars. Our patrol cars have automatic vehicle location that allows the dispatcher to dispatch the closest unit to emergency calls for service. This project will allow the dispatchers to have the same ability for officers not in vehicles, such as our motorcycle officers, walking beat officers, and bicycle patrol officers. In the area of resident satisfaction surveys, while there are many things that impact resident satisfaction, issues like response time, investigative follow-up, and clearance rates all play a role. The resident satisfaction with the quality of police services was 74% in FY12, which fell slightly short of our established goal of 75%. In addition, our FY12 results represented a decline from 76% in FY11. However, it is important to note that Austin performed well above the national average of 66% that was reported by U.S. cities with a population greater than 250,000. These represent a few of the metrics we currently look at to determine our staffing needs, and we continue to look for others that will aid us in determining the appropriate staffing level for our department. In the area of business intelligence, our department is working closely with the CTM division to implement a business intelligence tool in FY14. It is imperative that we implement this tool to capitalize on the technology investments we have already made in our pursuit of intelligence-led policing. The business intelligence tool will improve our ability to analyze crime and perform predictive analysis of where crime trends may arise in a real-time environment. Additionally, business intelligence will aid us in ensuring we are assigning our patrol officers the most efficient and effective manner. I would like to thank you for taking the time to review this presentation, and I look forward to our continued partnership in keeping you, your family, and our community safe. Thank you.